Welcome back to 3 News First Edition. It is 6:57. The overflowing amount of love for Texas includes the folks over on Sesame Street.
That's right. Take a look. The iconic children's show is sharing a message on social media for families in our state to know they are not alone. The caption reads, "We're thinking of all of our friends in Texas. We're here to support you and your family as you rebuild a sense of safety and comfort."
Sesame Street also sharing resources to help children cope with trauma and emergencies. All you have to do is scan the QR code that takes you to that site.
That's on our website too, KIIITV.com.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can Google Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll pop up. Absolutely.
Yeah, oh, Sesame Street, such a joy.
Yes.
Always.
As soon as I hear Sesame Street, I smile.
Yeah.
Right? It's that effect.
And start humming the song.
Yes.
That's why it's important to support our PBS.
Yeah, here's a look outside right now. This is our beach camera where the sun is shining. Have your sunglasses ready. We do still have some clouds and we do still have a low chance of rain. Those will be hit and miss, pop-up showers and storms, mostly heading into the lunch hour and then into the afternoon, shifting inland throughout the afternoon and evening. There will be about 3-foot waves every 6 seconds. Hey, that's an improvement from yesterday. 82 degrees right now at the beach. It does feel like it is 89 out there. So here's a look at our radar right now where we are tracking some of those spotty showers, mostly offshore. Again, the activity shifts inland into the afternoon. There is some light rainfall showing up on radar there into Webb County and McMullen County, but otherwise much of the coastal bend is looking fairly dry this morning. So take it easy on your morning commute, grab the sunglasses, maybe stop, get some coffee, get you through this Wednesday.
Iced coffee.
Whatever makes you happy.
Extra strong coffee.
That's
Triple
what,
coffee?
that's
The
what
kind of coffee you
I
can chew.
need. I need that now.
We'll have to take care of that.
Yeah, tell us
Okay.
why we need it, why we need more coffee.
We need fuel for our extra hour of First Edition, which is coming up right after this. If you don't have it now, as promised, just go on and download it. It's all free, streaming free. That's 3 News Plus. And we're going to leave you with this beautiful shot of the sun rising.
That's beautiful.
We'll see you on the flip hour.
You're watching the South Texas News Leader. This is 3 News First Edition.
Waking up behind bars this morning, an update on the man accused of shooting and wounding one Coastal Bend police officer.
Plus, an abrupt resignation at the medical examiner's office. The top official leaving. The hunt for a replacement set to begin.
And headed to the Hill Country with much needed essentials, a convoy bringing relief and hope. Their call to action.
Good morning, South Texas. I'm John Thomas Cobos.
And I'm Barbie Leo at 7 a.m. on Wednesday, July 9th. Good morning, John Thomas. Good morning, Carly.
Yeah, good morning. Here's a look at our radar imagery right now this morning, where most of our showers are offshore. There's a few spotty showers showing up into the brush country, but otherwise fairly dry as you're headed out and about. This is where we've seen the most rain, and it has weakened. Grab the sunglasses. This is the view across Corpus Christi Bay. It is gorgeous. Check that out. Let's just stay on this for a second and enjoy it. If that doesn't bring some light and positivity to your morning, I don't know what will, but the sunrise is doing a good job in what is a fairly dark time across our state right now. 77 degrees on this Wednesday. It does feel like 78, 87 by around 11. This is when we could have a chance for some of those spotty showers and storms, especially heading into the late morning and early afternoon. It does shift a little bit more inland into the afternoon and evening. Without rainfall, it will be hot. Heat index value may feel around 106 if you're not seeing rain at 3 p.m. Barbie, John Thomas.
Good to know, Carly. Thank you. We begin this hour on First Edition with an update to a shooting we brought you here first yesterday.
We're learning more about that shooting that sent a Corpus Christi police officer to the hospital, as well as the name of the man accused of opening fire on them. Investigators say 53-year-old Chad Rodney shot at officers late Monday night at an apartment complex on Ocean Drive and Airline.
Police were responding to a medical call when they say Rodney shot multiple rounds at them, hitting one officer in the leg. Another officer fired back, hitting Rodney in the leg as well. Both the officer wounded and Rodney were taken to Christus Pond Shoreline Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Rodney was later released from the hospital and taken into custody. He faces 6 counts of aggravated assault on a peace officer and 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The officers involved are on paid administrative leave.
A Corpus Christi police officer remains on a leave as well, facing accusations of indecent assault. Stephen Moran turned himself in Monday. Investigators say the incident happened outside of the workplace. A spokesperson with CCPD says the outcome of an investigation will determine any disciplinary action, which could include the officer losing his job.
A motorcycle crash remains under investigation today. Officers arrived at McCardle and Weber yesterday afternoon to find that rider in critical condition. The cause of the crash is unknown, and there is no update on that rider's condition this morning. Be sure to stay with 3 News on air and online for any updates.
To the latest from our county courthouse, Enrique Lopez, accused in the death of his girlfriend's 3-year-old son, once again asked for a bond reduction. This is the 3rd request. The judge denied defense. Lopez remains in jail, being held in lieu of $1 million bond. He faces charges of a serious bodily injury to a child. The child's mother, Emma Torres, is also behind bars, arrested last month in connection to her son's death.
Nueces County's chief medical examiner is resigning. Dr. Rajesh Kannan is set to officially step down next Thursday. That's July 17th. He took over after Dr. Timothy Fagan resigned abruptly in 2023. Kannan's departure comes as the office continues to face scrutiny. Before his time as chief ME, there were multiple accusations of mismanaged autopsies and internal conflict. An interim medical examiner is expected to be announced today during Commissioner's Court. As day 6 of search and recovery efforts continue, more than 170 people are still missing following flooding in the Hill Country.
As searches continue, the death toll also climbs. We're getting a better look at the damage on the ground and from the air. Governor Greg Abbott toured much of the devastation. Rescuers want Texans to prepare for more loss to come leading into the weekend.
This is just the beginning, really. Now that the rains ended and that the waters are starting to calm some, we are just now being able to assess truly what we are up against.
This news as more and more people show up to volunteer and donate to help those with relief efforts.
With that, one volunteer group from Rockport is set to leave tomorrow to aid in recovery efforts.
That's right. 3 News reporter Josh Maxwell shows us how the convoy will be arriving with much needed saws, hauling equipment, and gasoline.
As fields of debris line the riverbanks in central Texas and rescue crews continue working around the clock, some here in the coastal bend refuse to stand idly by.
They're going to need help for months, if not years.
I caught up with Brennan Wynn at Ron Hoover as he loaded up his trailer, part of a convoy heading to Hunt, Texas. He's not just going to help. He says his mission is personal.
All me and my friends saw what was happening. It just brought back memories of Harvey.
This is what remained of Wynn's family shop after Hurricane Harvey tore through Rockport in 2017. A feeling of profound loss Wynn couldn't help but share for those in the Hill Country.
People helped us. They dropped everything to help us.
Remembering the outpour of help he and Rockport received, Wynn says he's gearing up for the rough road ahead.
We want to bring stuff that's going to be more towards the working side for all the volunteers that show up with. They don't need to go buy a chainsaw.
Through the money that was donated by the community, Wynn and his convoy can supply items like hauling equipment, fuel, and now off-roading capability.
We want to have everything that they just show up, get gloves handed to them, eye protection, and they can get to work.
Adam Farley is the general manager of Ron Hoover and says he's proud to be part of the effort, saying they came to the right place to get the job done.
You can carry up to about 14,000 pounds on top of it. So when it comes to using heavy machinery to move debris and stuff, that's the perfect trailer for it.
Wynn knows the heaviness that comes with loss after a natural disaster, but he also understands every situation is different.
Harvey hit and we had a couple weeks to figure it out, and they had nothing. Not like they woke up to water in their houses and they lost their houses.
Josh Maxwell, 3 News.
Brennan Wynn says if you do plan to drive up and help, you need to establish a contact to know where your resources can help best. With that, our parent company, Tegna, they've created the Texas Flood Relief Fund. You can scan that QR code on your screen right there to make a donation. And keep in mind, all the money raised does go directly to nonprofits who are working in those areas hardest hit. So far, as of last night, we've raised over $77,000 to help Texans in need.
Thank you so much for all of those who have helped already.
Absolutely. Carly, we're going to send it over to you. I like that image behind you. It makes me want to take a nap. And
No,
just
I
fall
want to
asleep
run in
sounds.
that rain.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, running in the rain, as long as there's no lightning, is very nice. But what we are looking at is all of the rain that really led to the Guadalupe River creating an historic flood, particularly at Hunt. And so that water level reached 37.52 feet. That broke the record, last reached July 2nd, 1932. So this essentially was nearly a 100-year flood. There was a similar flood that was 10 feet lower. That was the one in 1987. That's also gotten a lot of talk. That's been talked about a lot in light of all of the devastation that has come this time around. So July 17th, this flooding was nearly 10 feet higher, particularly at Hunt, Texas, than it was back in 1987. All three of the highest floods happened in July. August was also at 23.5 feet, and there was a flood in October that reached 21.4 feet. When you look at all of the rainfall, I've showed this graphic every day since Monday now, but something that just really stands out is the heavy rainfall that fell in the hill country, but particularly something that I want to touch on real fast is that Camp Mystic, a lot of those camps on Highway or Texas 39, right? There's not a flood gauge on that fork of the Guadalupe. The flood gauge is at Hunt. And so knowing the height of that river, nobody knew until it reached Hunt, and that was past all of those camps. Barbie, John Thomas.
Thank you, Carly. Corpus Christi leaders are launching a new initiative to tackle major student absences.
Yeah, they're not only looking at it as a school issue, but also as a community challenge. With that, CCISD is bringing together the city, churches, and business leaders to find new ways to keep kids in school. We're talking about truancy here. The goal is to create a unified message across the city, reminding students and families that being in class is everyone's priority.
We care about what happens to our community, and they are part of our community. And so we don't want them to fall through the cracks. And it is a responsibility of all of us to care and to do our part.
It's a call to action, rallying the entire community around the shared mission of setting students up for success.
I think we can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always be ready.
Okay, that too, the renewed push to make sure you are prepared, how you can put that power and knowledge in the palm of your hand.
Got something you think we should know? If you see news happening, tell 3.
We've been since 1964.
Highlighting our heritage, showcasing what makes South Texas so special.
Join the tradition. Watch Domingo Live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m.
Sponsored by Sames Ford.
KIII 3 News reminds you that hurricane season is June 1st through November 30th. Make sure you have the 3 News app and stay connected to the 3 News weather team. We encourage you to download the Quick Access Hurricane Guide, packed with information that you can use, especially when weather turns severe. So remember, when all eyes are on the storm, keep your eyes on us. 3 News, known and trusted. Sponsored by Aztec Chevrolet, Hurricane Alley, Church's Chicken, and AEP Texas.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
Just hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call the Senior Medicare Patrol.
If you suspect Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a Real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a Real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/RealID or your local DMV.
Good morning, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Here's a look at radar this morning, where we have seen a few spotty showers across the northeastern portion of the Coastal Bend. But something else that shows up on radar is a flood warning. This flood warning is through Friday morning for the Guadalupe of Bloomington. There is minor flooding taking place here shortly, with the current stage just reaching under 20 feet. Flood stage is at 20 feet and the crest is expected to be 23.3 feet, so 3 feet above flood stage by this evening, which will create some minor flooding in that area. We are not anticipating major flooding as this makes its way along the Refugio County border into the San Antonio Bay. Taking a look at the bigger picture, a lot of the showers are offshore. There's a little bit of light rainfall well into the brush country, but otherwise we are looking fairly dry. There's a weakening cluster of storms tracking along Interstate 20 there, where heading toward where it merges with I-10 into far west Texas. A few little isolated showers south of Dallas and up toward Houston, a little bit of spotty rain as well. That's what we're going to be dealing with throughout the day today. So if you're headed out and about today, be ready for some spotty showers by this evening. If you're headed to something outdoors like a run club, then be ready for heat, but also a slim chance for some rain. Where that rain may be, it's inland by this afternoon. It'll be near the coast through the late morning and early afternoon. Heat index values are going to be hot, but it is going to be dependent on when and where you may see rain. So we've got 105 in Corpus Christi. That could wind up being the peak heat index, but that's not necessarily just for Corpus Christi. If you don't see rain this afternoon, you'll likely feel like it's 105. If you do see rain, then your heat index values may stay in the 90s. So it's kind of a hit and miss day, very similar to yesterday, but I think we see a little bit less rain than we saw yesterday. As far as your weather impact headlines go, we're talking a little unsettled weather pattern with the pop-up rain still in play even into the weekend. It's really hot and humid without the rainfall, and then we are monitoring an increase in Saharan dust. So first, let's start with our moisture. We have this tropical low that has come offshore from the Gulf. It is going to weaken, but there's another one that's going to come up out of the south, out of the Bay of Campeche. Not a ton of moisture associated with this one either. However, it may bring a couple of spotty showers, especially into Friday morning for the southern half of the coastal bend, possibly even Thursday evening. We get this trough action that sets up. What that tells me is our rain chances aren't zero, but they're not great because, well, our moisture isn't excessively humid, but we are still fairly saturated across the Texas Gulf Coast. So anywhere along Interstate 35 and south and east of there still does have a chance of rain as long as we have that moisture in play, and as long as that high over south of Louisiana keeps pumping up the Gulf moisture, we have a chance for those sea breeze showers in particular, which is not a bad thing. Sea breeze showers are great. They help keep our yards nice and wet and healthy. Here's a look though at drier air working its way into next week, trending hot, trending drier by next week. Here's that low creating showers, especially from Victoria to Houston. Our best chance a little bit later into the afternoon and evening, especially for inland locations. We have a chance for some sea breeze pop-up showers, particularly on the southern half of the coastal bend on Thursday with that weak disturbance coming up out of the south. Then overall into the weekend, it's more of a sea breeze kind of pattern just because we are staying pretty humid. Sunday is trending less rainy than Monday. As far as the Saharan dust goes, it goes up on Thursday. Thursday is looking like our thickest day of Saharan dust. So be ready. Allergy-like symptoms can blame that Saharan dust. 96 degrees with the drier air that comes along with the Saharan dust as well. We will see a daily chance of showers and storms, but really it's very pop-up, hit and miss out there. Barbie John Thomas.
Carly, thank you. First Edition continues to discover how families are grappling with the loss of loved ones in the Hill Country flooding. One mother was found dead. Her two sons are still missing.
And two sisters are left hoping to find answers this morning as they hold on to hope and push for action.
When thinking about the past weekend, sisters Sherry McCutcheon and Terry Trogott reflect on their mom, Betty West, who lived with their two brothers, Doug West and Gary Trogott, at a home on Windy Valley Road. Sherry would wonder,
"Why don't y'all try to move out? We can't. We're taking care of my mama." So they stayed with her till the end, even if it meant their life.
After midnight Saturday morning, Terry says their mom called just as flooding hit their home. They saved this voicemail.
"Just please quit panicking. You're making me panic."
And then Doug sent a text and said, "The house is cracking apart. And if we live through this, it's going to be a blessing. If we survive this, it's going to be a blessing because the house will be gone."
Their mama's house now in this state. When they found a car standing up straight next to a tree, they hoped they'd find their family. Sherry screaming out for them.
Mama, Doug, Gary, where are y'all? Wake up! But nobody answered. And then we found that we're not there.
On Sunday night, Sherry says her mother's remains were identified through her fingerprints.
And she didn't make it.
And they have nothing on the boys.
Yeah, they said, we're still looking for your brothers, though. We're not giving up. I know they're in heaven, but they're not here.
Sherry and Terry saying they have little hope left to hold on to.
What we're doing is going to sleep crying, waking up in the middle of the night crying, no matter what.
And the little that's left is the hope that their brothers will be found.
They have to come home. Please bring my brothers home.
The sisters say this pain feels too familiar to the family since they lost their uncle in a tornado nearly 30 years ago. Their younger sister also died in December of cancer.
Flooding issues not just affecting Texas. Rain and rushing waters hit New Mexico incredibly hard. It too washed away homes. At least 3 people have died. This all happened along the river in Ruidoso, 4 hours west of Lubbock. The storms triggered a wave of water in the river, which rose from 2 feet and 20 that is, in just 30 minutes.
A topic in the Hill Country that keeps coming up is how sirens along the river may have helped in this situation. State lawmakers are expected to grapple with this during the upcoming special legislative session this month. Attention is turning to the Guadalupe River, where no siren warning system was in place. Many campers may not have had cell service, meaning no chance to receive phone alerts. And Coastal Bend State Senator Adam Hinojosa says that he plans to address these issues head on.
I have a feeling that will be on the table. We saw great tragedy, and our prayers go out to all those affected by the tragic floods that have just occurred. Obviously, we need to pay a lot more attention to that, and hopefully that'll be called into a special session.
The special session starts Monday, July 21st. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has publicly stated that he and Governor Abbott have agreed the state should constrict sirens along the Guadalupe.
To make sure you do not miss out on any important wireless emergency alerts, be sure to check your phone's settings. Go to device notifications or the safety and emergency section. Locate government alerts and confirm they're turned on. You can even customize which alerts you want to receive, just like our app. You can stay informed and prepared at all times, no matter where you are. And another good reminder, if you haven't already signed up for the city's reverse alert system, this is your chance. You can use it on your computer or your phone. Alerts are sent out for weather and other dangers. You'll even receive updates about evacuation routes and any potential flooding on the roadways. All you need to do is text Be Ready CCNC, that's Be Ready CCNC, to 888-777 to sign up.
The hunt for those missing in the Hill Country has revealed that far more people are missing than originally thought.
That's right. ABC's Chris Youngcordero shows us how more questions are popping up about what went wrong. As Governor Abbott says, an investigation will happen, but anyone pointing fingers is a loser.
This morning, the race to find those missing in the Texas Hill Country enters its 6th day, with a steeper mountain to climb than originally thought. Officials say more than 170 people are still unaccounted for, more than 3 times higher than previously stated.
We will not stop until every missing person is accounted for.
Texas Governor Abbott believes the surge in the number of people missing is largely due to the holiday weekend, people staying in the area without registering at a camp or a hotel. And several family members, like Thad Hartfield, have taken it upon themselves to join the search efforts.
I'm just doing what a parent would do. Nothing else matters right now than to take this effort to find, my son and these other kids.
His 22-year-old son, Aiden, and a few of his friends and girlfriend were staying in Thad's second home on the 4th of July in Kerr County. And this morning, new questions about why the region wasn't better prepared. Public meeting records show Kerrville discussed installing a flood warning system as early as August 2016. And records obtained by ABC News also show how just 2 days before the flood, state officials signed off on emergency plans for Camp Mystic, where a number of children are still missing. When asked about whether he's placing blame on anyone, Abbott acknowledged an investigation will happen, adding this.
Who's to blame? Know this. That's the word choice of losers. The way winners talk is not to point fingers.
There are also questions about the future of FEMA after President Trump vowed to overhaul or even phase it out entirely. The agency immediately responded to the Texas floods, and Trump has since avoided discussing whether he has changed his plans for FEMA. Homeland Security Secretary Noem, who oversees FEMA, claims the administration is streamlining its response without offering specifics. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
2 Coastal Bend constables and a canine joining that search.
Their mission bringing closure to families, their message while others wait for answers.
Meteorologist Carly Smith. As the sun is coming up, we are looking at beautiful conditions here on our Coastal Parks beach camera. 82 degrees, waves are running about 3 feet every 6 seconds. So we do have some spotty showers to watch out for, and even a chance of a rumble of thunder, mostly coming up late this morning and into the afternoon. That activity will shift inland. There are some light showers for inland locations as well, but for now, just grab the sunglasses because here's another great view looking across Corpus Christi Bay this morning. 77 degrees. We will see temperatures warming up 91 degrees by 1 p.m. Feels like temperatures will vary. It will depend on if you see rain or not. If you don't see rain, you'll easily make it into the triple digits. If you don't, it may be around 90. Air temperatures will be in the mid 90s across the area. Again, pending rainfall overnight. We'll see temperatures falling into the 70s. Also, we've got a full moon coming up heading into tomorrow. Now it's your turn to color the weather. It can be bright and sunny, dark and stormy, or even raining cats and dogs. Send pictures to Color the Weather at KIIITV.com.
Sponsored by Driscoll Children's Hospital.
We will continue to keep you updated.
3 News at 6 and 10, keeping you informed on what matters most.
We bring you the latest breaking news.
We take action to get you answers, keeping you safe with the most accurate information,
sharing the excitement with our beloved teams.
Watch the team you trust for what matters most. 3 News at 6 and 10 and streaming on 3 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Federal investigators blamed human error for a deadly natural gas explosion.
We all remember where we were that morning.
We could actually see the smoke from our farm here, which is close to 20 miles away.
I just heard a big boom. The tile plow ruptured into the pipeline. Once the gas got through the intakes of the tractors is when it ignited. I started running as fast as I could. The ground literally started erupting from my feet.
Watch the rest of the story at 3secondslater.org. And remember, Farm Safe starts with 811.
South Texas, good morning to you. I'm John Thomas Kobus. It's almost 7:30. A South Texas law enforcement team is headed to the disaster area in the Hill Country today. Deputy Matt Caffey from Precinct 3 and Deputy Chris Salazar from Precinct 5, along with a K-9, are joining those efforts. They're already up there, as you can see in these pictures. Both constables say they are proud of the deputies for volunteering to assist with rescue and recovery efforts in Kerr. The Nueces County Chief Medical Examiner is stepping down. Dr. Rajesh Khanna will officially resign on July 17th, next Thursday.
Law enforcement,
he took off after Dr. Timothy Fagan abruptly resigned in 2023. Before Kennan's time, the chief ME there was facing multiple accusations of mismanaged autopsies and internal conflict. An interim medical examiner could be appointed today. That's going to do it for us. Until we see you again, choose to make it a great day.
News Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time.
This is a developing story.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Do give yourself some extra time as you're headed out the door.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news.
We begin tonight following breaking news.
Live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 3 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Ever lose your keys? Is that normal aging, dementia, or something else? Fear often stops us from asking for a simple checkup from the neck up. Knowing your numbers, blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol are common, but your cognitive numbers are also important. Request our free guide. It's filled with tips for better brain health, facts about dementia, and much more. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. Your brain will thank you.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
Little everyday conversations about the dangers of underage drinking can make a big difference in a child's life. Talk, they hear you.
You're watching the South Texas News Leader. This is 3 News, First Edition.
Northbound lanes ago. What to know when headed north, what you still cannot do, however.
Plus, more South Texas help headed for the Hill Country. The team en route with a special tool to aid in recovery. Their story of hope.
And watching out for scammers this week, the state warnings for those of you affected by the Central Texas flooding. But first, here's Carly. Good morning, Carly.
Yes, good morning. Hey, some good news this morning. We don't have any flood watches in place. That is great. There is still the flood warning for the Guadalupe at Bloomington, so that does flow right along the Refugio County border as it does move into San Antonio Bay. Water levels will be running high. It is expected to crest 3 feet above flood stage as we head into this evening. It is nearing flood stage now as we speak. So we also still have some flood warnings, a flood warning there into portions of the Hill Country, but otherwise conditions have improved big time. Look at that, a lack of rainfall early on this Wednesday. We do have a cluster of showers and storms in the Gulf. That is associated with an upper level low or a mid-level low that is moving onshore. I expect more rain closer to Houston, but this is why we had those pop-up showers yesterday, and this is also why we have a chance for some pop-up showers again today. On this Wednesday in Corpus Christi, without the rain, we'll make it up into the 90s pretty easily. With the rain, we may stay closer to 89, which is where we were yesterday. Barbie John, top on this.
Thank you, Carly. Finally, northbound lanes on the New Harbor Bridge are open this morning. However, there is still a major traffic detour to take note of.
That's right. To access North Beach from Corpus Christi, you'll still have to stay on the Old Harbor Bridge. Crews are still working to complete the alignment on 181 on North Beach.
Once the new bridge is ready to carry the full load of commuters, the Old Harbor Bridge will finally come down sometime next month.
We'll start immediately staging demolition as soon as we close the old bridge in August. The plan is to begin lowering the main span over the ship channel this fall. So that'll come down first, and it'll come down in a very short weekend as we have to have the ship channel closed to lower that onto a barge.
For the full journey up to this point, head to our website at KHLI-TV.com, and once we learn of the actual date the old bridge will be taken apart, we'll let you know.
A groundbreaking water project in the middle of a cotton field could soon deliver millions of gallons of fresh water to communities across South Texas.
This new desalination project could be a game changer, not just for small towns, but possibly even the city of Corpus Christi. Our Michael Gibson tours the dusty field where big plans are starting to take root.
This cotton field in Driscoll is about to make waves, not with crops, but with clean water. The South Texas Water Authority just held a groundbreaking on this dusty patch of land at Business 77 and FM 665, where a brand new desalination plant is getting ready to rise.
South Texas Water Authority, we want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. We're here to help.
After the speeches and golden shovels, the first test well was fired up. The real question, would it bubble up with water or sputter out with dirt? And yes, it delivered that liquid gold.
As you know, Senate Bill 7, which I co-authored, was a big bill to add $1 billion of constitutionally funded money for new water supply, specifically projects like this.
Now the real surge could come if the city of Corpus Christi jumps in. The city's in talks with the South Texas Water Authority to buy up to 28 million gallons a day from this very site.
We should have at least a half a dozen different sources of water to do, and this would just be one of them.
But this isn't just about drilling a few wells and calling it a day. The Seven Seas Water Group is planning to drill 4 wells for now, but if the city of Corpus Christi joins the deal, that number could jump up fast.
If the city and SCWA agree that they want to expand the plant to up to 30 MGD, then we're probably going to do what we plan here, but times 10. So between 40 to 60 wells potentially, and of course building a larger plant that can easily handle then the increased output and throughput.
Michael Gibson, 3 News.
To be clear, negotiations between Corpus Christi and the South Texas Water Authority just started taking place. A contract is being worked on for council to consider. Whatever that outcome, the Water Authority project will still be moving forward, expected to take 2 years to complete. It would look similar to the one currently in operation in Alice. Nueces County deputies are joining the front lines of the ongoing search and rescue efforts in the Hill Country this morning.
2 deputies, one from the Constable's Precinct 3 office and another from Precinct 5, along with his canine partner, are in Kerr County.
3 News reporter Bill Churchwell visited with the team, who shares just how difficult conditions have been, but where they're trying to find hope.
Each image, a window into the unforgiving power of Mother Nature and the grueling search still underway for the missing.
It's crazy how Mother Nature just did this in a short period of time.
Deputies Matt Caffey and Chris Salazar, alongside his canine partner Thor, answered the call to join the intense search and recovery mission in Kerr County.
Gotta go. You know, this is a part of your calling when we take that oath.
But when you see what we experienced yesterday, it stays with you.
The search zone is massive, with dangerous terrain scattered with debris.
You got stuff inside trees, you got trees knocked over, pieces of houses in the trees.
An exhausting effort that feels like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Canine Thor is certified in tracking.
How critical is having your canine with you in search and recovery missions like this one?
Especially in a wide area where there's so much to search. So yesterday he came in handy.
If it wasn't for Chris's dog and the other canines that are out here, those are great assets.
Salazar also assisted in recovery efforts during the deadly 2015 Wimberley floods.
It just hits you a little bit harder when you're finding kids under debris, under trees.
Despite the heartbreak, these images are also capturing a relentless effort to help families find the closure they so desperately need.
Cherish your kids, cherish your family members. And just, tell them you love them.
Bill Churchwell, 3 News.
Thank you, Bill. The men are, among others from our area, part of a rotating effort to serve. Both constables' offices say they are proud of their deputies for volunteering to help families affected.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton continues to warn of scams during this difficult time. Paxton wants to remind you there are those who are willing to exploit this tragedy. They could be demanding money from you, faking repairs for cash, or even overcharging for basic necessities. Laura Andes, a charity navigator, warns to always verify that person or group you're working with.
Always make sure it's a registered 501c3. I hate to admit, but there are some people who try to take advantage of these situations. Always look at their website and make sure that they are responding to the disaster at hand.
So with that, before you give, do your research. If something doesn't feel right, there's a chance it might not be. Also, always be sure to report suspicious activity, and you can visit our website at KIITV.com to connect with the Attorney General's website and to find many verified links for giving. Carly, we're going to send it over to you and the kids that love to color the weather.
Of course, yeah. So today's Color the Weather forecast, we are featuring clouds and sunshine. Clouds and sunshine across the coastal band. That is exactly what we're dealing with today. This is a no-name submission, but we're still going to show it off. We've got the birds flying, enjoying the weather. There is a low chance for a spotty storm. Temperature around 94 degrees, pending if you have rain or not. So let's talk about what happened yesterday. Yesterday, we stayed in the 80s for Corpus Christi. We only were at 89 degrees there into the afternoon because we were tracking some spotty showers and storms. Our average high is 93 degrees. The record 100, that was set back last year. You remember how hot it was last year? Hey, we also picked up some rain. We picked up some rain yesterday at 0.42 inches. So our year today is now at 12.37, but we're still behind normal by about 2.5 inches of rainfall. But 0.42, that was a nice storm that went over the airport yesterday. Here's a look at some of the rainfall across the area yesterday. Rainfall radar estimates put some of the highest totals there between Sinton and Beeville, as we may have neared 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall. Kingsville, south of Kingsville, closer to Baffin Bay, that's where we really got more rain. Officially at the Naval Air Station there in Kingsville, they only picked up 0.09 inches of rain. Robstown picked up 0.05. Corpus Christi coming up with the most rainfall at 0.42 inches of rain yesterday. Now there's a chance for a little bit of rain today, very similar conditions to yesterday where we get some pop-up showers and storms, especially around lunchtime, that could quickly add up with our rainfall totals. If you're out and about driving, that may lower visibility at times, but I suggest having the sunglasses and the rain gear handy today because you'll likely need both. Barbie, John Thomas.
Thank you. Yes, we appreciate it. South Texas veterans in the mix.
Their special skills helping families recover loved ones in the Hill Country. They're called to continue serving.
Big 12 Media Days getting underway yesterday. You'll hear from the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Plus, it was a big night for a former Ray Texan in the big leagues. It's all coming up next in sports.
Predictions, patterns, and preparations. A 2025 Hurricane Special from the 3 News Weather Team. Watch now on 3 News Plus. Download for free on your smart TV. Sponsored by AEP Texas.
We begin with breaking news into our studio.
Where you can see crews working behind me to help get that fire under control.
Heavy police presence near the Ray High School.
As multiple fire departments are responding to a large grass fire.
This is Developing News. Please stay up to the news online and on air.
Stream extended coverage on 3 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I enlisted as a medic to be there to help my patients, and after an injury, I found myself as a patient. I experienced post-traumatic seizures. Depression is a big one that comes along with it, PTSD. So I pursued my PhD in neuroscience and regenerative medicine. The coalition has helped fund my academic pursuits. They genuinely care about helping the vet in whatever way that they can. Through supporting the coalition, you're supporting some of the veterans that have the biggest needs.
Visit saluteheroes.org to learn more.
You complete me. Together we're one. I never want to be without you. Together's more fun. Together we're one.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Big 12 Media Days got underway yesterday in Frisco. And while the conference decided not to do a preseason poll after last year's topsy-turvy disaster, one team that is expected to make some noise this season is Texas Tech. Head coach Joey McGuire took to the podium as his Red Raiders, coming off an 8-5 season. McGuire and company hit the transfer portal hard this offseason, brought in 17 players, 7 of which were ranked in ESPN's top 75. That was good enough for the number 2 overall portal class, and has the Red Raiders possibly looking to win their first non-shared conference title since 1955, the year that Marty McFly went to, and the last year before they entered the long-defunct Southwest Conference.
Yeah, it's been a fun off season. We were really aggressive whenever it came to the portal and meeting some of our needs. And we look at it that we have a great opportunity. I think this conference is really strong. There's a lot of teams that have some big opportunities this year to really make a statement, and we're planning on being one of them.
Now, the Big 12 Media Days will wrap up later today in Frisco with the other 8 teams remaining, including TCU and Houston. The Hooks entered the night tied for first place in the South as they open up a 6-game series with Springfield, down 1-0 when Garrett Guillemette gonna step up to the dish, and the former Longhorn gonna unload one to left and gone, tying it 1-1. Alan Holt said the guy made a great catch last night. He did not. Very close. Lost it going down to the ground. But Springfield answers back in the next half inning. Leonardo Bernal with the RBI single. The Redbirds go up for good, 7-1 the final. The Hooks drop the opener, but they'll look to get back in the win column tonight on Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit Night. Don't get Alan started on that either. How about the Big League Club? The Astros looking to avoid dropping the series with Cleveland. This will help. Cy Young candidate Hunter Brown getting off the hook because Jose Altuve ties it in the 8th. Brown had given up 6 runs, but then in the 10th, Josh Hader pitching his 2nd inning and Angel Martinez taking him deep, well, not that deep, but first row of the Crawford box is the only park that would be out in, but it's a grand slam. The Astros lose 10-6. They dropped their first series since May 21st. Hope to avoid being swept later today. And it was a career night last night for former Ray Texan Nick Lofton. Lofton hitting the go-ahead 2-run homer in the 7th for the Royals against the Pirates. Then he stepped up in the 9th with a chance to win it. And the single to center is a walk-off. That's now 2 straight games Lofton has gone yard as well. That's the first time he's done that in his big league career. So congrats to him on his big night. And hey, same organization, former Sinton Pirate Blake Mitchell made his debut for Single-A Quad Cities last night after missing the first few months with a broken hamate bone in his hand. That'll do it for me. I'll see you back here tonight at 6. Have a great day, everybody.
In the wake of devastation across Central Texas, we are seeing powerful examples of neighbors helping neighbors.
Reporter Robert de la Garza shows us how, after an East Texas family's vacation took a terrifying turn, they found an unlikely way to help, serving up hope and barbecue.
What began as a simple couple's getaway for 3 East Texas families turned into a fight for survival.
You know, I mean, we opened the door and we're looking and you could just see the water coming up. You knew you had to leave.
The Hatchetsons, Woods, and Kings all traveled to River and Resort, just miles from Camp Mystic in Kerrville. A tradition that spans decades for Dex Hatchetson.
Since I was a kid, probably 4 or 5 years old, so it's just been kind of a tradition every couple of years.
But less than a day in, disaster struck. Torrential rain and rising rivers struck fear. The families rushed to the highest point of the building, some escaping to the roof to avoid the floods.
So that's when it kind of started filtering out onto the roof to make sure everybody had rent. You know, just glad that everybody was safe.
When the storms paused, Buster King says the families stepped up and continued to help where they could.
We started cooking all the meat we brought with us, and of course we were hungry and everyone else was too. So
they found a barbecue pit floating in debris and cooked for over 100 people.
As long as they were bringing food, we cooked it and fed people. It gave us something to do to make us feel useful.
Strangers with differences in the world, but united by survival.
We started as strangers and we have a connection that we'll never forget each other.
Now the family looks back on that night with memories, some tragic and others humbling, of the friends they made, but all thankful to just be here.
South Texas veterans are stepping up to save lives in the Hill Country. Several nonprofits made up of former military service members are assisting with search and rescue efforts. One of the group's Heroes for Humanity are bringing their experience, discipline, and compassion to the front lines.
A lot of these guys are used to rappelling down mountains and doing all kinds of rescues already in the military, so that's been really beneficial here. John is over here about to do a deep water recovery, and he's one of the only people on site that we've found so far that's actually trained to go down and recover underwater, and so we're assisting with that as well.
So far, they have helped recover roughly 17 people.
More of those dedicated first responders in Kirk County are giving us a first-hand look at those recovery efforts.
Reporter Jacob Rascon with our sister station rode along with them in the flood zone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, you bet. Thank you all.
scores of new searchers sign up every day.
And we're working both ways.
The Ingram Fire Department and 700 helpers cover 70 square miles.
Doing everything they absolutely can to bring the missing family members home.
The massive operation led by Chief Diana Backus.
I worked the Comfort flood in 1987.
In 5 decades on the job, this is the worst thing Chief Diana's ever seen.
I saw RVs being slammed up against trees and literally exploding. I saw children floating in the water begging for help that we could not reach. And that takes it out of you.
Are you okay?
I can't say I'm okay, but I'm going to do my job.
This was underwater and there was a car floating.
Retired firefighter Tammy Landon, one of countless tireless volunteers.
At the time, you deal with it. Later on, it's going to hit everybody. I was born and raised here. Pretty bad.
It is organized chaos with growing impressive resources, including the helicopters like these. We've also seen boats, ATVs, dogs, horses, and other equipment.
And we know those efforts will continue well into the weekend too, where over 200 people are expected to be lost to this flooding. So for everybody up there, Texas proud, and it's one of those sending hope, hopefully through donations. There's different ways to get back if you feel that call on our website, KTRITV.com.
Starting tonight at Run Club.
Yeah.
They can donate some
at Run
materials.
Club you can donate. That's downtown at Bus, and those donations will be taken to the airport to then for them to take it to the Hill Country. So yeah, that's where you can go. And then of course there is a run.
On Sunday or Saturday?
That's Sunday morning at 7 a.m. at Westcouth Park. So yeah, a lot happening, lots of ways to donate. I think that's the easiest, the quickest, the best thing to do.
Deliver that hope.
Yeah, so right now here is a look at a flood warning that is in place a little bit closer to home. This is water traveling down the Guadalupe. It has reached flood stage, but again, this is not an excessive flood. This is the lowest level of flood stage for the Guadalupe at Bloomington, where it is currently at 20.22 feet. So flood stage starts at 20 feet. The crest is expected to be 23.3 feet this evening, but it is trending a little lower currently than the forecast was suggesting it would be at this time. So it may not peak quite that high, but regardless, it has reached flood stage. So this is going to create some minor flooding. Mostly it's oil that's impacted. So there's some pump jacks and things like that that may be in the path of some of those floodwaters. So remember to turn around and don't drown. Again, this is for the Guadalupe at Bloomington. This is Refugio County, the border line, as that river does flow into San Antonio Bay. Right now, here's a look at our radar imagery where we're tracking a few spotty showers, mostly offshore this morning. For the most part, the coastal bend is nice and dry. There's a little bit of light rain trying to show up in areas a little bit into the brush country, but overall, it is a drier day across Texas, and I know the Hill Country is appreciating the lack of rainfall right now. They've been in such a horrible drought, so the rain was needed, but when it comes as torrential downpours and floods, that is not the way that you hope that you get out of the drought, right? But unfortunately, that's the way you do tend to get out of droughts. So it is a horrible, horrible story coming out of the Hill Country as it just continues every day. Right now, here's a look at our local beach where conditions are calm, a nice way to get away and relax and take in the beauty that we do have here in the coastal bend. It is 83 degrees right now on our beach camera. It feels like it's 91 and our waves are running at about 3 feet every 6 seconds. On this Wednesday, we're kicking things off at 77 in Corpus Christi. Feels like 78, so a little cooler than out at the beach right now. That will shift into this afternoon. It'll stay cooler at the beach, but will be extra hot inland. The only thing that may change how hot it is if we get some rain. So without rain, you'll be around 105 for a heat index. With rain, you may stay in the 90s. So yeah, there is a decent shot at some rainfall today, but it's another round of hit and miss showers and storms. We also have the full moon coming up, so it's going to be 100% full. I believe that's 3:37 p.m. actually on Thursday. Moonrise tonight is going to be at 8 p.m. Moonset into tomorrow morning will be at 6:13 a.m. and this is the buck moon. That's the nickname for your full moon here. Low pressure, what you're going to notice, that's the reason for our pop-up showers and keeping the coastal locations with some saturated air. There's a disturbance, a weak little low piece of energy that comes up out of the south, keeping areas from Corpus Christi toward the valley saturated into Friday and Saturday, so that will bring us a slight chance of rainfall. We have these troughs going on in between two areas of high pressure, keeping us a little unsettled, but none of this is extreme weather that we are anticipating. It just means there's a slight chance of a hit and miss shower here or there really every single day. Thursday does look like a drier day, and that's actually because, well, of Saharan dust, but here's what I mean. Pop up, you see a couple of showers, they dissipate. We see some sea breeze, they dissipate. We see a chance for a little bit of rain Friday evening, but it's not much. And so that's really just the weather pattern that we're stuck in, is those hit and miss showers with pop-up rain. It's really hot and humid without the rain, and we are tracking an increase in our Saharan dust also. So again, without the rain, heat index values are going to be around 105 to 110 heading into the weekend. We're not tracking tropical activity, but that Saharan dust, again, this plume right here that's actually weakening that disturbance that I mentioned to our south, that is going to drift north, and the worst of it is coming on Thursday. So Thursday will be our thickest dust day. You may notice those allergy-like symptoms if you're not already noticing it. We'll see partly sunny skies and highs in the mid-90s the rest of the week. Barbie, John Thomas.
Charlie, thank you so very much. Okay, yeah. We got a live look outside of our studios.
Let's do it. Let's see who's awake right now.
What's the traffic up
What's
to?
the traffic up to?
Yes.
Okay.
Picking back up.
Good morning, South Texas.
I hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday.
Connected to the 3 News Weather Team, we encourage you to download the Quick Access Hurricane Guide, packed with information that you can use, especially when weather turns severe. Sponsored by Aztec Chevrolet, Hurricane Alley, Church's Chicken, and AEP Texas.
3 News First Edition keeps you prepared for whatever the day brings, working overnight to get you the latest breaking news.
Help could be on the way for Sinton residents recovering from the Welder fire.
Stay ahead of the storm with Weather Impact Alert Days.
Everyone is down below a mile in visibility, so you've got to give yourself extra time heading out the doors.
Start with the team you trust on 3 News First Edition, weekdays starting at 5 a.m. and streaming on 3 News Plus.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
Just hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call the Senior Medicare Patrol.
If you suspect Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
As a mom, I want my kids' lives to be filled with joy and possibility, and I want that for every kid. That's why I support No Kid Hungry. They work in schools and communities to make sure every kid gets the healthy meals they need. Please join me in supporting No Kid Hungry for all kids.
Good morning, South Texas. I'm Barbie Lee. It is 7:56.
Yeah, and I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Here's a look outside right now where we are tracking some increasing cloud coverage. There is a chance for a little bit of rain today. 80 degrees right now. Wind is out of the south. It'll shift out of the southeast. Pop-up showers and storms are possible. The radar mostly active offshore currently, but that will change as we head into the late afternoon or late morning. Temperatures will heat up. We'll be around 106 potentially for a heat index if you don't see any rain, Barbie.
Thank you, Carly. We are learning more about a shooting that sent a Corpus Christi police officer to the hospital, as well as the name of the man accused of opening fire on them. Investigator tells us 53-year-old Chad Rodney shot at an officer late Monday night at an apartment complex on Ocean Drive and Airline. Officers responding to the shooting just after 11 Monday night when Rodney fired multiple rounds at officers, hitting one of them in the leg. Another officer fired back, hitting Rodney also in the leg, and Police Chief Mike Markle says both the officers and the suspect were taken to the local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Rodney was later released from the hospital and taken into custody. He now faces 6 counts of aggravated assault and 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And a Corpus Christi police officer still remains on a leave, facing accusations of an indecent assault. Stephen Miranda turned himself in Monday. Investigators say the incident happened outside of the workplace. CCPD says the outcome of an investigation will determine any disciplinary action which could lead to the officer losing his job. In our county courthouse, Enrique Lopez accused in the death of his girlfriend's 3-year-old son, again asking for a bond reduction. It's his 3rd request, and the judge denied defense. Lopez remains in jail for a $1 million bond. He faces charges of serious bodily injury to a child. The child's mother, Emma Torres, is also behind bars. She was arrested last month in connection to her son's death. Please stay with 3 News on air and online by searching KIII on your smart TV, downloading our 3 News Plus app, and streaming away.
You know, we get the most beautiful sunrises here
We
along
do.
the coast.
I agree.
Can never complain.
Yes.
Yeah, especially if you're able to make it out to the beach. Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
sun moves so fast though now that it's summertime. It is already well above the horizon, so it's just trying to give you a sunburn now at this point. So make sure you do have sunscreen if you are headed out. We do have more clouds building as we are anticipating some spotty pop-up showers and storms. 83 degrees out at the beach right now. Highs will be nearing 90.
Okay, and that is going to do it for this 3 News Plus on First Edition. So happy you started your morning with us. Choose to make it a great day.